In your Briggs and Wager readings, the authors show you a method for writing student learning objectives that helps clarify the instructional design process. The first thing to learn about designing instruction is that instructional strategies vary widely for various types of learning outcomes. Since each type of learning requires a unique instructional strategy, the set of all possible learning outcomes is divided into various domains of learning. In this chart, each learning domain is accompanied by a standard capability verb, as well as a list of typical action verbs. These verbs are used to write student learning outcomes because they help instructional designers keep track of the types of learning outcomes they are trying to achieve in the courses they develop. The authors also point out that learning outcomes are highly dependent on prior learning. The hierarchy for the relationship between different types of learning is represented here. In the learning hierarchy depicted on this screen, upper-level learning outcomes represented by problem-solving and rule-using domains are dependent on students' prior mastery of lower-level learning outcomes of related concepts and discrimination skills. The authors suggest that the hierarchical relationship of the various domains of learning should guide the instructional design process in a very specific manner. Since lower-level learning provides a foundation upon which to build upper-level learning, instruction in lower-level learning outcomes should always precede instruction aimed at helping students master upper-level learning. The hierarchical relationship of learning outcomes has important implications for adult learning. Since adult learners have typically already mastered fundamental lower-level knowledge and skills, instruction designed for adults should normally focus on developing upper-level learning outcomes. Recognizing the need of adult learners to focus on the mastery of upper-level learning outcomes helps guide the instructional design process by reminding the instructional designer to employ instructional strategies appropriate for developing upper-level learning. Examples of these types of instructional strategies are inquiry-based learning and problem-based learning. The designer of instruction should also remember to use student assessments that are consistent with upper-level learning strategies. One should never use multiple choice, true-false, matching, or fill-in-the-blank assessment methods to test for mastery of upper-level learning outcomes. These types of assessments are not capable of measuring upper-level learning. Short answer essay or essay exams, research papers, authentic assessments, performance-based assessments, and other forms of upper-level assessment should be used instead. This figure on page 12 demonstrates how to piece together the various elements of a properly written student learning objective. The exercise of writing objectives in the manner prescribed helps the instructional designer check for consistency between the level of learning to be mastered, the instructional strategy employed to help learners achieve the desired skill, and the assessment method being employed to determine whether or not the student was successful in mastering the desired skill. Reading the student learning objective listed at the top of this figure, we can determine the situation under which student mastery of the skill will be tested, the capability of level of skill to be mastered, the object or specific skill to be mastered, the action the student will perform to demonstrate mastery of the skill, and any tools or constraints under which the skill must be mastered.